day one at building oneprompt.com to $1 million ARR. Look, kind of randomly decided to start recording this video because I was not planning to do this type of the series. But because we have the launch coming in 7 days, I decided to actually record the journey of us doing the final modifications to our software startup and show you guys live how everything is going to go. Now, this videos will be published probably on my second YouTube channel. I have the main one. You can check it out. But here, there's going to be no edits. I'll ask my editor to probably like blur some information out so that I don't leak anything just in case. But for this first video, I want to explain to some of you who are new what we are building. One prompt. Look, let me give you a backstory. I've been in the AI space for over 3 years. Obviously, after ChatGPT APIs got introduced, started the AI agency, was trying to figure out my way into the agency, and then I realized that, look, it's not about saving businesses time. Primarily, it's about making the money and building automations, agents, whatever AI systems that help them to generate cash flow. And I never wanted to do the marketing or anything related to the demand generation, which is like, like ads, right? Or like content, because right now, like content engines, UGC agencies and stuff like that. So like I didn't want to do that. And at that time, these tools were not that great. Right now, it's kind of already starting to get there to the level where you can actually extract a lot of value and use AI to be more efficient with the demand generation within your business. But I was always kind of into the chatbots, right? This is how I started. My YouTube channel was started primarily about me talking through the VoiceFlow builds, and the VoiceFlow at the time was one of the main platforms for the chatbot building creations. Now, I do think that right now, this is still one of the best platforms when it comes to the chatbots, right? So like we're not right now building a chatbot, even though it's still primarily chat and voice, so it's a bot. So it's technically a chatbot. But when I'm referring to the chatbot, it's more about like a widgets on the websites for the customer experience where the end user understands that he's talking to the AIs. Anyway, so I started my YouTube journey talking about the VoiceFlow, and this is how I got most of my audience. Because when back in my Amazon days, when I had an agency where we've been launching products on Amazon, we were using ManyChat a lot, and we were gaining reviews on Amazon products and selling it as a service through Facebook ads and ManyChat sequences. So we were using chatbots at that time, even before the AI publicly came out. Anyway, so I was kind of like, okay, so like I was always about the chatbots. So I thought, okay, like how do I make businesses money? Then I need to do something with the sales. So how do I automate the sales? We basically need to do like something to sales reps, or maybe the backend tools for the sales and analysis, or maybe some sort of a chatbot like a setters that will engage with all the prospects that the business generates. And this is how the journey of the one prompt actually started, because the Quimple agency was all about building like custom AI solutions, and the one prompt originally came as a toolkit where you can deploy the setters to a business. And this toolkit was actually our build. See, when I'm going to be saying like our custom build, and at that time I was alone. Maybe I had like a few developers. I had probably like one and maybe a few freelancers. But I was like primarily doing all the logic myself still. And like mine, meaning I was developing it myself in a unique way, but relying on the existing tools, like for example, Go High Level. So we were using a Go High Level as the interface, and at first we were powering it on the back end with the VoiceFlow. So we were connecting the Go High Level, right, with the VoiceFlow, And the voice flow was like an engine that was powering the Go High Level. Now, then we started to introduce the voice setters, even though I was not a big fan of the voice, which was also connected to the Go High Level. Anyways, so I don't want to go too much into the history. Maybe we'll do a separate video about it. And this is how we started to sell, right? So like I started to accelerate. I was, focusing on this specific build. We started to get people, through my YouTube channel, running the cold outreach, and then primarily running the ads and the webinars for the businesses and selling them this, like setters, okay? This was like primarily setters, because you can call it the AI SDR, but realistically, it's still setter. It's setting an appointment, nurturing engagement, qualification. You got it, right? So it's the front side of the sales funnel, right? It's like then there's, whatever engagement and booking, and there is a closing. Anyways, so then I launched my license program, because that was a very good way for me to monetize my audience on the YouTube, because I was making the money on the agency side, and I thought, okay, it's like I have the YouTube and I have a pretty loyal audience, because I was, like very honest with my subscribers from the day one. Some of the people are staying with me for over a year now, even though the views went down. And I was like, okay, so how can I provide them the value, and make some money on top of my agency revenue? And this is how I launched the One Prompt License program. This is where people, and still it's still going, obviously. This is, still the main thing and how I monetize my content and my brand, because the brand and the social presence doesn't get, us almost any clients, within the agency. So the One Prompt as a company was divided into the two sub companies. The first one was like the done for you, which is the agency, and the second one was like do it yourself, which is the licensing. And we're selling it. We're selling a license to the people that they can just get. Obviously, we were giving them the Go High Level snapshot. We were giving them a ton of workflows inside n8n that are powering, because at that time we already switched from the voice flow to the n8n, and we had quite a few workflows for the text side. For the voice side, we were using a retail for the voice, but n8n was used for the booking functions. And everything was hosted on School. Again, like I'm talking about this in the past sentence, but it's still going. It's like everything is great here. But the reason why I'm saying that in the past, because we're launching this new thing as a primarily as an add-on. Originally, the plan was to add it as an add-on to all of the license holders, but right now I'm gonna be launching it as a standalone product. So yeah, so it's basically like the snapshots, the templates, the technical course, and all the jazz. Okay. Now we have right now more than 250 people inside. Out of this 250 people, realistically, there are probably like 180-ish business owners, because a lot of the guys are having their own employees. Either it's a business owner or primarily business that is using our system for their own company. But mostly these are agencies who are having people that are like, I sold it to the agency owner and they connected their team members, maybe internal developers who are learning our system and implementing. Anyways, but over and over, we started to get the request of like, oh, Eugene, like, I don't want to do shit myself. And we are like having a developer, but he's like doing internally and he can learn your stuff. But then it's like, okay, we need to manage. It's like, so they were looking for more of a done-for-you approach where we would come in and do the fulfillment for their clients. Because the model, the original model, was like, let's say there is an agency. This agency has 5 to 20 clients, and this could be, lead gen agency, marketing agency, content agency, or the AI, agency that is doing the custom development and looking for a more productized way. Usually this is the range of my ideal customer profile, and they are integrating a one prompt setters for each of their client. And it's like, okay, it's like, how do we productize it even more where we don't do any, development? One very important note to make is that I always knew that in order to productize this service, which is a setter, you need to have an interface that will run the entire thing. Because like we have a go high level, right? So we have go high level, we have retail, we have N8N, which is right here. We have Twilio for the phone numbers. We have Supabase, right, which is the storage. So it's like it's different apps connected together. So this is why probably literally like a year we introduced our management system, which is essentially our custom interface that allows you to manage these setters from the interface. So it's connecting to the go high level, but let's say the prompts are done here. So you don't need to go into the like go high level or like N8N. This is where the engine is built, and modify the prompts there. So you can just do it here. Same thing for the voice, and then you are having credentials, and within the credentials you're like deploying, like you're doing these connections, and then they're passed to the N8N for all the functions. Anyways, so that was the package. So we had our interface and we had all the things. And originally I built it because we were deploying, tons of these setters for our clients, and I wanted to automate these processes, as much as possible. So I was like, okay, so then we are obviously gonna release it to all of the license holders. So what's next? Then I realized that just giving a course, just selling it as a license, and giving all the raw templates to all of these things is probably not the only option that I should focus on, and probably not the long-term option that I should focus on. Because a lot of people, a lot of agencies are looking for more like a done-for-you solution where they still own it, right? So like this is the very like small nuance. And I learned it not because like I was just like sitting in the couch and like thinking about it, even though I was like doing it a lot and I still do, but primarily because I was talking to the people who are getting inside the one prompt, license. There's like pretty successful agency owners. I was like talking and like trying to understand what they do, because I have my agency and I was like, I'm always curious what other people are doing, how they're making the money. And they were like always interested to done for you approach where they onboard a client and the setter is like kind of already done, it's already working, but they still own it. So that was kind of like a weird thing where in our case, we give them all the source thing and their entire setter is actually built, like the history, the contacts is sitting in the Supabase. So it's like they own it, but the front ends are kind of different, plus our own operation system. So they don't want to learn it. They can hire a developer, but then it's kind of developer management. And the developer either needs to be really good to build on top of us, or just follow what we give them. So they were looking for a better way to do all these things. So I decided, like, I started to think, like, how can we give it to our people, right? It's like, how can we do the done for you? How can we build the setters for our clients, clients, giving them the full access to it? So like they're owning the data, but we are doing we are a guarantee that it works, right? Because if you think about this, right, probably a topic for another discussion, but look, AI appointment setters is not something new, right? It's like you can go on YouTube and find hundreds of videos about it. But funny enough, I never actually saw a business like outside of my network that is using setters. AI setters. Like they're using human setters or they don't use setters. Or like human setters can be like internal, they hired someone or they're working with an agency or a call center. So the question is why? They're not good. This is one option, right? It's like they're shit. They are shit. Now, this is a valid option, and again, like this can be discussed. I'm not the type of the person who is saying like, yeah, they can do anything and they're better than humans. They are better than humans for the most part, but not just because they are better because they know the script, because they follow the script. It's like for a business owner with multiple clients, usually, depending on their process and depending on the item, the AI setter is better, usually, but it depends. This is why we're like not selling to everyone. But the second thing is that because they don't work, aka they break. Now, I was just like one of my setters because we're doing the launch. Is currently right now talking to one of the guys inside like here. And I'm not sure, like, again, so, like, I'm not sure what I'm going to be showing to you on what I don't. So this is why, sorry for me not showing it to you, but I guess I would have to. So it will just blur the naming. And so the guy is literally saying, like, yeah, I have a client, like, I have clients and I have OpenClaw that is connected to the Go high level, but it's like, it's not working really well. It's just like hallucinating. And this is kind of the main problem that we faced, where people understand that they would want to probably use appointment setters. They would probably want to sell it. Their clients would want to use it, but they can't rely on them. Look, and in the license, like we literally give them the infrastructure that is robust. Like just plug it and play. Like get the course, spend 15 hours learning it, deploy, and then done. Monitoring still required, fine tuning still required, and like these little nuances that make the difference. So this is why I essentially came up with a fully managed appointment setters offer, which is the new offer. This is what we're talking about, where we come in and we deploy the setters to your clients. Okay, so let's say you're having 5 to 20 clients right here. So we deploy the setters to your clients, which is like text and voice, not receptionists, not customer support agents, just the setters, with one goal: to book appointments, qualify leads, and nurture them. And we charge you the software prices because, see, this is an honest discussion, and this is why these videos are going to be raw, and I want to keep them raw. We'll see how many videos I'm going to actually record. Is look, as a startup, right? So like as a as a one prompt, we are like, as this new one prompt setters startup, we are competing with humans as well as software. Okay, so humans meaning, why would someone go with the AI against the humans? So this is one side of the story that we need to understand. Where is our leverage? And I'm not asking because like I understand that, but it's still, I'm still refining this, right? Because like I see the value from the feedback that I'm getting from my previous clients, but I think it can be better. And on the software side it's obvious, right? It's like Go high level has their AI agents, okay, literally. So a business or an agency owner can go here, build an agent, and like just deploy it for their clients. Like there is, a point wise, right? So like these are the guys that are one of the big ones that are like a layer on top of the Go high level, where they're like just better than the default Go high level agents. Obviously there's like hundreds of them that are not even attached to the Go high level. Plus, on top of that, every major CRM like HubSpot, Sales, like they will have their own setters, right? So systems, .io. I don't know. Are they already having probably the setters or whatever this name is? System-e. Yeah, right. So now the question is, no, probably not this one. No, or is it? Yeah, is it? So the question is like, where are we sitting? Because I don't like, do I want to build a software? I mean, I don't know, but I don't have the money to run a software. Meaning, like a software is the longest game possible. So you need to be prepared to make money off it for years. And this is why they raise capital, because the LTV to CAC can be like pretty good. So let's say you're going to be spending like $500 to acquire the client who's going to be paying you $97 per month, and the average stick is going to be like 12 months, which is ridiculous, but okay. So let's say this client is going to give you, let's say $1,000, right? So if this is going to be 10, so it seems that the LTV to CAC is 2-to-1, but it's fine. But the thing is that this is going to be in 10 months. So you need to invest this money up front, lose the money on the front end, and then make money from the LTV. And especially in the AI world, let's be real, like no one knows what the fuck is gonna happen in a few weeks. So the software is not the route. So, like, I cannot physically charge like $50 to $100 subscriptions, because it's gonna be hard for me to acquire the clients like that, especially if I'm gonna be scaling through the ads or even through the cold outreach. I mean, depending on the type of the cold outreach, but you still need to spend money on the infrastructure. So, like, humans, the humans is more about an agency, because there are a lot of the staffing agencies. Like, for example, Cole Gordon is one of the big guys. Like, he is obviously owning the sales space, where he is staffing the sales reps as well as the setters to the company. So it's like, he's working with the humans. So we are kind of like sitting in the middle and creating this like a space for ourselves. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? I don't know, honestly. Like, this is like it's just kind of new, right? I'm still evaluating this, like, from the business perspective. So it's either we're going on the lower ticket or on the higher ticket side. So what I decided with the fully managed setters is to sit in the middle. Like, we will have like fully managed, but SaaS, something like this. So we do the labor of deploying the setters and making sure they perform. So comparing to a SaaS, right? Let's say a Go high level agents, like, you can build it. Right now, it's trash. If you've ever been testing it, it is not trash. It's fine. It's getting better every week. For some industries, it works. For more complex cases, it doesn't. I'm don't worry about that, because if I'm gonna say, oh, it's trash, this is why use one prompt, it's like kind of, it's a short-term strategy. It's a race to the bottom. So in my head, I'm like, okay, let's say Go high level basically build as good agents as my agents, setters, sorry. If they are equal, right? So let's say they are equal, any software and us. So how the fuck we're gonna compete? Because they are charging, let's say, $97 a month. Now, my pricing, I'm looking at the $197 a month, which is crazy cheap compared to, again, from the feedback that I'm gathering, we already have a wait list, compared to the value. So let me explain. So basically, we're charging double, okay? And let's say peer clients. So here, see, like now it's like it's kind of become weird because this is not peer client, it's a peer sub account or whatever you're paying $297. It's probably going to be the same price across all of these softwares, like $297 for unlimited clients. But we're going to be charging like $197 fixed peer client. So if it's like 5 clients, it's going to be like $987. Okay, so let's say we are charging 2-3 times bigger. Now humans on one spectrum are actually charging 5 to 10 times bigger compared to this. Now, of course, we need to compare the token usage here also when we're comparing it with humans, but let's also not talk about it for now. So see, we're like 2-3 times more expensive than the software. And let's say the quality is the same. So why us? It's simple. We are going to be the ones who you can blame for a bad performance. Meaning, here, I mean, you can build it yourself, but if it breaks, if it hallucinates, if it sends some shit, who you're going to blame? You can blame yourself, or you can blame, your internal AI developer. So, and on top of that, you need to monitor that, not just from a hallucination standpoint, but I mean, look, so like when I'm saying hallucination, like AI is good enough to not send like weird shit, which is not related to your business. I'm saying hallucination is like, okay, so it's like not exactly following the script, like sending questions in weird like times. So it's like someone needs to do the monitoring, okay? Monitor. Someone needs to do the reporting and analytics. Definitely Go High Level is not going to integrate, like, besides the fact that their agents are shit, now they would need to integrate in-depth analytics inside. And the guys like a Pointwise or other whatever AI setter platforms, they're like having, by the way, like I'm the first one here, it's fine, like Sales Ape, they're like having this setup, but they're not as deep on the analytics because they are not monitoring the actual setter to give you the analytics that you would probably want, and it's probably not going to be as customized as you would want. So this is kind of like, see, from the marketing standpoint, I see the value because the market already responded to this launch because of the waitlist. Plus, I was getting the feedback from my, from my existing customers. But on the marketing, like I'm still trying to sharpen down this message so that even when we're, gonna running the ads to the completely new audience, because like if you're watching this, obviously you're watching for 30 minutes, right? So I have time to explain it to you, but like people need to understand it right away. So like fully managed setters. So we do the deployment, debugging, and monitoring. You just do the selling, something like this. So this is kind of our leverage compared to the software. So we are responsible for it to perform, and this is why you're paying premium for it. Now, I'm not going into the features for now, and I am just saying that this is going to be the advantage when the AI setter platforms, the softwares, are going to be the same level of the setters as our setters. But right now, they're not even fucking close, for the most part, both on text and voice. I mean, voice is kind of weird because, like, look, we are using retail as a provider for our setters, but like I'm gonna explain how we're specifically doing that, because let's say when we're onboarding a client, we don't even open retail, so we are using their APIs and SDK. But all of these like softwares, they're primarily having their own infrastructure, and we have an advantage of using whatever fuck we want because we are essentially like open source. And this is one of another marketing angle that I will get back into the next video. But like we can do whatever fuck we want. So like retail becomes shit. I just replace it with a different platform. So I can like, and then like I don't know, like went bankrupt, like I'm gonna replace the Anidan. So like Twilio, I will replace it with the Telnex. So it's like I have an ability because we are building this operating system for the setter and we're managing it. We can use the best platforms. So obviously, because of the best platforms, like retail is solely focusing on, voice. N8N is the best when it comes to conversational logic. So it's like we're getting both, like great for both worlds. But let's say if the CLC, like maybe it's great, like it's probably great, but if they're having their own infrastructure, right? So like they're probably not they're not competing with us. They're competing with the retail. So like, and retail again, it's not about like it can be VIP, it can be bland. What I'm saying is that like it's a multi-million-dollar startup that is working on the best voice possible. So obviously it's gonna be better. But we're combining it all together under one umbrella. Anyways. So this is kind of like was the main idea why this whole thing even started. And again, this was the main idea why this whole license program more than a year ago started. Right now, I just found a way to really supply this shit for 197. And this is the main point. Like this. Because, look, our main ICP is 520 clients, okay? So 520 clients, agency owner. Well, like, let's be real. Usually, most of our clients are lead gen guys. Either the lead gen or they're like different type of the agencies, that usually have clients that are having a very heavy inbound traffic. Because for the lead gen, the setters are obvious because they're generating leads and they need to set these leads. For coaches that have enormous traffic, for I don't know, like solar companies that are running ads internally and they're generating a lot of leads. So these agencies have access to the clients that have inbound leads. So let's be real, like 197 for a setter that can perform. Look, of course there are tokens, but usually the tokens are going to be like less than $100. It's going to be like in the range of 50 to $100 in terms of the spend. And this is going to be like 100 is probably, thousands of leads, we're talking about like 100 and $150 additionally on this. So, like 1,000 leads is not a low number of leads. Plus like thousands, like depending on what's the engagement rate, what's the response rate, what's the PK rate. So it's not a lot. Like a few $100 per client, and you can realistically sell only this shit. Like for these agencies who are selling, let's say, have connections with companies that have heavy inbound. Like you can easily sell it for 1.5, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like we have like a few guys that are selling $5,000 a month because they really like generate thousands of leads. So not even doing lead gen. So like paying me like a few $100, it's a no-brainer. Plus, like we're gonna be responsible for it to work. Like why the fuck they would go to a software, build it themselves? Okay, even if it's easy, like monitor, like debug, fucking rely on a third party, because like here, again, like these are already, like I'm starting to mention features because now you're not responsible for us. Because if a rocket destroys my fucking apartment tomorrow, like your data is in your Supabase. So like you can reconnect the entire shit in like a week. Of course it's gonna be a pain, yeah, but like you own it. But on third party, like you don't own shit. And so like let's say you have like 10, 20, 30 clients, like I disappear, you're fucked. Like you're cooked. So this is also like a value proposition. Anyways, like, so does it worth like a few $100 additional bucks? Yeah, sure. That was my thesis, and this is what I'm seeing from the market. Maybe I'm wrong. Like I'm launching, so like we'll see how it goes. But this is what I kind of see. So like this video, I was planning to actually show you the backend and show you what we're working on, because look, the reality is that we are vibe coding 92% of the entire thing on Lovable. So we are using the trigger dev right now. So we were using only Supabase edge functions, but we transitioned to the trigger dev because this is more robust way for us to build a longer term workflows. So it's basically like a tech stack is, lovable, trigger dev, obviously N8N for the main text engine, retail for the voice engine, and Supabase for the storage. Go high level. And to end this video, this is what I'm going to be posting next, like future videos about. Go high level acts like a layer, true layer, not as a main driver. Why? Because of the complexity. I don't want to have our own interface with our own fucking analytics and with our own chats and with our own leads, but at the same time give the agency an option to like have this go high level. Now, so I figured out the way to give an option. If you don't use, let's say an agency doesn't use go high level, like they're like doing whatever, or in a business, they still need go high level account. But the only thing they will do, they will just connect their calendar here. They will connect a phone number to you here, email, WhatsApp, just connections. Upload our snapshot. I mean, we do that. Like we do that because it's a fully managed. Done. They don't log in here. So everything, like they give their clients access to here. In here, they can actually, give their clients an option to like hide menu items, show menu items, right? So build a true white label experience for their clients, for them to only see like a front end, like analytics, maybe chat. But the backend, they see and we see. But if they want to use go high level, if they don't want to use chats here and the lead CRM here, they just go to the high level and everything is synced. So this is kind of an interesting thing because again, my value proposition, and this is what I really valued all the time. I don't know, like maybe this is like it's a separate topic again for the discussion, is that I don't value privacy. Okay, so like I, for example, like don't give a fuck if someone spies on my phone, like government shit or something. But I love to own shit. Like I don't want to be dependent on a third party. Even though, look, I mean, of course we do. Like I depend on the bank. Okay, that stores my funds. This is why most of the money that I have are in crypto and not in bank. So I love to own shit. Okay. And this is why, sure, I mean, our clients are going to have our interface. They're kind of still dependent on us and they go high level. But at least there are two parties. But the main thing is that they can self-host their data and having Supabase, besides talking about the security, and having like all their privacy protocols when you're working with the enterprise level clients. And obviously you can self-host N8N. So see, like, and because it's N8N and because it's open router, you can use self-hosted model. Or like, I mean, not okay, it's like open router, you can have self-hosted model, but like you can use free model, you can use like self-hosted model inside it. And so like there are a lot of options. But see, I don't want to give this complexity. So the person will just onboard a client, we deploy the setters, done. Like done. So they are paying us $197 a month. But if they want, sure, they can do whatever they want. Or they can probably, like, I don't know, like, and this is another question, is like, are we planning to do custom work, like custom modifications in the setters based on the client for an additional charge? I don't know. Honestly speaking, I don't want that. Like, I just don't. I want to charge $197 fixed. Appointment booking, nurturing, engagement, speed to lead, qualification, appointment booking in the calendar, which is Google and Microsoft. That's it. Like all these CRM third-party connections, we probably will edit. Look, like we will probably edit in our custom interface, and this is like we're gonna be adding it on this week. A connection where you can send leads and sync them with a third party, like a HubSpot at least, to start with. so that then again, like, think about this. Now you're not depending on the high level. High level is the connector. This is the bridge between the actual system the business is using. So like, there's so many options. But I do want to be like super focused, because the goal is 1 million ARR, which realistically, this is what I'm using for the title. But look, I mean, in all honesty, I'm targeting right now the 20K MRR. So like, I'm targeting 100 accounts. Okay, so like 100 accounts that are going to be paying us 197, I'm going to be good. Okay, so like 20K MRR, which isn't, I mean, it's nothing in terms of the revenue, but this is a first true MRR in my life, because we do have MRR right now, but this is like an agency MRR, which is like, if you're being in the agency, like, you know this. But this is more like a true MRR. Okay, so like, it's not a software MRR, but it's like, it's closer to the software rather than the agency MRR. Anyways, so we'll keep you guys updated.